What up? Welcome to the channel. Welcome to episode 169 of the Beefy Boys Breakdown. How you doing, Harris?
I'm doing good, man. Just repping the homeboy George. You know what I'm saying? Be great today. 85
Oh,
out the
hell yeah.
balloon. Shout out to the
No-
boy. I actually was super stoked to get this shirt. I know it's a quick aside from UFC Fight Night, Murphy Barboza, which we're about to get to, I promise you. But had to get this shirt because he designed it, he told me. And then also, it's not a 49ers shirt. It's just him. And like, I'm a fan
Yeah,
of him.
yeah. So
Like, for you, you're a Niners guy. Me, I'm a Raiders guy. So I need a shirt that's not a Niners shirt.
no, that makes a lot of sense. No, for sure. It puts you in a tough spot there. It puts you in a tough spot there. But yeah, man. Like Harrison said, we're going over UFC Fight Night Barboza and Murphy, which was a pretty decent card. We just got fucked so hard with the books. You're gonna hear us crying in our beer all episode long. So brace yourself for it because we got fucked.
Yeah, we got headbutt fucked, you could say. It was absurd. I mean, it's just crazy that can't just be a no contest from like I'm just speechless about it clearly, but I want the commissions to actually like start to take into account like if someone gets dropped in a round, like we can't be acting like the headbutt is going to like there's got to be some sort of applied measure to that, man.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
if
we
someone's
will
getting their
get to
ass
it.
whooped, you can't just give them an out because one shot hurt them that was illegal, but they're hurt from the 18 shots before it already.
Yeah, that's where it gets real murky. That's where it gets real murky. Yeah, we'll get to that. We'll get to that in due time, my friend. In due time, my friend. But we got to get to the one that one of our picks that actually was right, man. We got in the main event. We got the fight of the night actually in our main event, which I kind of disagree with because I view this fight as one-way traffic. To me, fight of the night is like back and forth, or maybe even an epic comeback. But one-way traffic for 5 rounds, like to me, that's not fight of the night. I mean, performance of the night all day. I don't know.
So
I didn't really like Bosa's performance. I mean, I'm not trying to, like, congrats on the money. I wouldn't want to take that out of your pockets. A legend like Edson Barboza, but you see what I'm saying? Like, I don't see.
oh
He didn't really
yeah.
contribute much besides having a chin.
Right, I was gonna say Dana effectively was like awarding his chin and Lerone's performance. Like it's almost like he wanted to give Murphy the bonus, but didn't get a KO, didn't get a sub. There's other people that didn't get a bonus that also didn't, or that also got a KO or a sub. You know what I mean? So like, it's almost like the juxtaposition of like, how do I say it's perform like you outperform someone that got a finish? So then he
Well,
has to get him
exactly.
fight of the night.
Yeah, I don't love it, especially when a guy like Giannis didn't get a bonus. But we'll get to it, man. Yeah, I mean, one-way traffic for Murphy. I mean, I guess one judge gave a round to Barbosa. What round even was it? Because I viewed
Um,
this as one-way traffic. I don't. That's kind of crazy to me to give Barbosa a round.
Nah, so round one, Derek Cleary gives to Barbosa for the up kick. I disagree. I scored it to Murphy. Now I did take pause and think like, how much did that kick hurt him? Right? Because like, had he not been able to like get up at the end of the round, or like had like Barbosa like rolled him over and like he was like stumbling around, then I'm considering giving Barbosa the round for it. But Murphy honestly won the entirety of the round until he got up kicked, and he was throwing like a vicious like jumping punch, like he was trying to be active. I don't know. I just felt like I wasn't gonna hold it against him for getting up kicked as the bell's ringing.
Yeah, for sure. Like you said, he recovered from it.
And he started round
Wasn't
two
a
great. Like I know you can't hindsight score, but in hindsight, like scoring round one for him makes sense because in round two he comes out and is whooping Barbosa's ass immediately again.
And it's like, because that was, I think we can both agree it was kind of a fluke, right? And it's like a fluke.
Yes.
I don't feel like there's any sitting on the fence on a fluke. Like either it was a fluke and it worked and it was a flash KO, but you don't win a round that you got dominated in, like off of like a fluke that doesn't win you the fight. You know what I'm saying? If it wins you the fight, hey, all fair, But I don't think it wins you the round for having a fluky split second of success after getting, outclassed
I'll also
on the feet
say
and on the ground.
I'll also say this that shouldn't count as a knockdown because it's almost like he falls into guard. So like I don't consider that a knockdown at least. Let's see if the stats do officially. They do not. So if you're not getting a knockdown and you're not winning I don't think he won the damage battle that round, if I'm being honest.
No.
And he
Oh,
didn't win the
no.
control battle. He had no duration, no dominance. Scoring for Barboza is getting harder the more I'm talking about it.
Yeah. I mean, to reward a fluke. No, and it gets kind of murky to where, like, if that was some, like, technique, like, say that was like a spinning wheel kick as opposed to, like, a fluky up kick. All
Right.
right, maybe we can talk. Maybe we can talk. But a fluky up kick, I'm not going to reward. And then, I mean, I'll take it a step further up with the 50-44 scorecard. I don't think anybody agrees with me, which I think is kind of weird. Verdict didn't agree with me. I didn't see really anybody tweeting about it. Am I insane for giving round 3 a 10-8?
No, I was gonna say, is it 3? That's my only question.
Yeah.
Was it 3? If it's round 3, I'm here for it all day long. I didn't, but I was literally looking at it like, damn, that elbow, like the elbows, and that's the round where I also texted in the chat and I was like, how the fuck did Barboza eat that? Like he was eating shots last night where they were like clacking like baseball bat on baseballs. It was gross. I don't know how he was standing.
Like, there was a point where, like, usually we use the word like unanswered in referring to ground and pound, but it was like standing barrages to where, like, he was just like unanswered strikes and really undefended strikes. Like, you can't really say he was intelligently defending. Like, I think if those were ground and pound, the fight's probably stopped. But it was, to me, you could generate more power with standing. So it's like, yeah, man, I honestly thought it was going to get stopped. It wasn't. And then I got on Twitter and I was like looking around for everybody to agree with me, feel like a smart mark, like everybody tweeting about 10-8s. Nobody was. I get on Verdict. I was like, oh, surely the Verdict, the educated crowd on Verdict will have a 10-8. Nope. And I was just like, okay, I don't know what I was watching there. And I mean, I guess you give a good point for not giving it a 10-8. But yeah, when I was watching it, just kind of eye test, felt like a 10-8 to me. Because if the rest of these rounds were 10-9s, and that round was probably the closest to getting a stoppage. And
I thought he was going to get the stoppage in the third. I really thought. And then I thought early fourth, like, oh, Barboza's done now. Like, he's broken.
Exactly.
Yeah, the third was that most impactful round for Murphy, 100%.
And also, like, the least amount of success for Barboza. Like, Barboza
right, he wasn't getting his leg kicks off in that round. That's a great point.
Yeah. So I arrive at a 10-8. Thanks for making me feel like I'm not a crazy person. And then round 4 might have been like Murphy's technically best round, not damage wise, but like
he was. I think that's the round. That's where he was like literally framing inside and then just like dropping one over the top, standing up, like elbow, coming back, body work. He was just like working on like a bag. It looked like drills. Like he was just piecing Barboza out, dropping his way out of shots. He'd eat a couple jabs, couple leg kicks in round 4. But he also fired back some leg kicks, and whenever he would get to the clinch and throw those knees into Barboza's knees, I know that was hurting him whenever he was trying to throw kicks. Like, that wasn't a bad strategy at all.
Yeah, no, and I think that was the round where it was like 50-20 on the significant strikes or something around there. I mean, yeah, he was styling on him. That's a good word to use. And then round 5, somewhat safe. I mean, he was still getting after it.
He was so smart. He was so smart, just trying to, clinch control. That last minute showed it. Like, he was like, I'm not going to hunt this finish. Like, I've just dominated this guy. I made a statement. I don't need to get this finish. Like, this man's done.
No, for sure. I agree.
Even though he's done, Barboza's dangerous because he just has crazy power.
Oh, yeah, he's fucking jacked. But, yeah, I mean, this was a real coming of age moment, for Lerone Murphy. We got a guy. Like, we got a guy we got to take serious.
You're telling the guy that had him as 2 stars at minus 140. I loved him.
You did, and I was giving some pause. Which all of my breakdown of of me saying how Murphy wasn't that explosive, that kind of added out. He wasn't able to get the finish. Like,
he's technical though. He's technical.
He's technical, but insane cardio too. I was kind of questioning his 5-round cardio. We hadn't really seen it. Obviously, check that box like a motherfucker.
I think he's 31 or 32. Like, I think he's right in his prime years right now. Like, I think this is the best Murphy's going to get is within this next year and a half. So it's a good time for the UFC to kind of give him this opportunity and start to build him. Good story too. Survived near-death experiences twice.
Yeah, marketable guy for sure. Now let's talk power rankings here.
I want to hear where you put him at because I already had him high. We had already disagreed on where he was at.
I put him at 10, and
Okay, now we're talking.
Yeah,
I got him
now
at 11.
We're talking. Yeah, no, I got him at 10. I couldn't jump him over Arnold Allen just because of like level of
I
competition.
agree.
Like Allen's fought, the cream of the crop. Max Holloway, obviously. Who else did he fight? Mobstar? The Mobstar, I think.
Mobsar, he's gonna fight
He's he's
Bryce,
fought
or who's he fighting next? Giga.
Giga. Yeah, he has the fight against even Dan Hooker at
Yeah,
45 too.
yeah.
So I
Where he
thought he's
torched
just
Dan
kind of
Hooker in that too. It was nice.
a little more proven. I I wanted to jump Lerone Murphy over him. I really did, but I didn't want to get caught up in the moment. I didn't want to get caught up in the hype train. But I mean, honestly, they're kind of similar fighters, like technical, boxing heavy approach.
I think Murphy's probably faster than Arnold Allen too, as crazy as that sounds, because Arnold Allen's not that fast, but he hits hard.
We've witnessed Allen be able to be the nail. We haven't seen how Lerone Murphy reacts to being the nail, only the hammer.
I thought Murphy's striking defense looked really good, in all honesty. Like, it's not like he ate anything that was crazy damaging besides a couple good liver kicks that Barboza threw whenever he'd switch and throw that left body kick. That landed a couple times and it was nice. But the up kick, like, that's not striking defense. You know what I mean?
Well, and then I forget, did Arnold Allen go the distance with Holloway, or he didn't get finished?
Believe he got finished.
I'm just saying, like that loss is aging clearly well. Like the fact that he's even been in there with a guy like Max Holloway, I just think Lerone Murphy hasn't quite checked those boxes. Not that Arnold
Oh,
Allen
no.
even checked that box.
Went to decision all 5 rounds with Holloway.
Yeah.
And that was a year ago.
Like
Year ago in a month.
Yeah, like clearly that's aging well. So I just think that he has a few more, a little more battle tested than Lerone Murphy. But yeah, the two
Agreed.
Brits.
Yeah.
The two Brits, right there, man. And yeah, I mean, above Arnold Allen, I have Yair Rodriguez and Aljamain Sterling. Am I crazy for having Diego Lopez above Lerone Murphy? Like,
no. Fully agree. That's a big point I would stand on right now. Is that Diego Lopez is too dangerous for Lerone Murphy still.
The power advantage, the grappling advantage.
He nullifies too many things that Murphy's not the best at. Murphy's very good at boxing. If he fights a striker, like him and Giga or him and him and Cater is fun. Oh, give me Calvin Cater and Lerone Murphy.
See, I'm honestly done with the Cater feeding. So, I'm just kind of over that.
How about Josh Emmett and Lerone Murphy?
Sure, I would much rather see that. Just because we haven't seen that movie before. The Cater, we've seen that movie before. I don't know. In my opinion, Cater did beat Giga, so
I could also see a loser of Arnold Allen and Giga having to fight Lerone Murphy.
Yeah, maybe even the fucking winner. Maybe.
Yeah, if Giga's the winner, then I don't think they're going to fight him against Allen just for the British shit. I don't think they will. I think they'll try to avoid that at all costs for the time being.
They'll keep it in their back pocket till next year's show in England.
Right, that's like an Ace of Spades type shit. So they got to keep that for the England cards.
No, you're right, brother.
If nothing else, speaking of which, they go to England in August. Murphy didn't take the most damage here. If you're Lerone Murphy, are you trying to get on the UFC 304 in England, which is end of July 28th?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, right? I mean, if they try to build a career.
I mean, July 27th, how many weeks are we talking there? 9 plus 2. 11 weeks? I mean, that's enough time, I think, for Murphy's level, especially if someone is, ready to go. If Josh Emmett is trying to get a fight, Lerone Murphy, take a week off, and then let's sign up. Let's get 8 weeks.
Or even a Dan Ige. Dan Ige.
Yeah.
That
was talking that shit, too. I don't know if you saw that.
On Twitter, right?
Yeah. Yeah, he was saying Barboza looks old and slow and that he's lost it and that, that's too bad for him because Murphy would have been in trouble if he wasn't old. That's easy to say.
It's easy to say. Barboza did look old though.
Yeah, and that was what I bet on. The man's 38. The reality of it is that he's 38, and we saw his best years, and he didn't win a title. And I'm sorry, Danny. We've seen your best years too, bud.
So fucking jacked. He's just
He's
so fucking
so
jacked.
jacked. But let's keep it pushing. Let's keep it
Yeah, let's
pushing.
keep it pushing, man. To one I gotta own, man. I was all over Carlston Harris this week. Plus 105. We got him at plus 115. Taking on Khaos Williams minus 125. I thought that, and I mean, to be honest, in a way, like my breakdown kind of played out. I did think Carlston was the more skilled fighter, the more technical fighter. But hey, doesn't fucking matter if you eat a nuke from Khaos Williams, right? Like Khaos was able to land his shot, the one shot knockout power that he's known for. I never really denied that. I just thought that Carlston was going to be able to, kind of out technique him, out cardio him.
He was technically striking better and then just got caught.
Like, I think even when he got caught, he landed a decent shot of his own. It was like a tit for tat kind of deal. And you can't play that game with Khaos.
Right, exactly. You can't trade with him.
I'll say even I said I bet Carlston Harris just like a 2-unit dog straight, and when Carlston Harris was quote unquote having some success, which he was, but like I was like, ooh, this is a risky game to just be trading on the feet with the Khaos. I was like, it'd be one thing if he was throwing leg kicks or maybe trying to clinch, or
if anything, Khaos was throwing more leg kicks, which was kind of surprising to me. Like head strikes, Carlston Harris was like he had 3 times the output as far as numbers are concerned.
Exactly. So Carlston Harris, good fighter. I still have these guys so obviously Khaos first round KO, big right hand and a big fit, Stipe Ngannou 2 style.
I hate the way that Felder was selling this though, because Khaos won and then they're talking about like, oh, he's like next guy up type shit at welterweight, and it's like, dude, he's really not that high up in in at least our power rankings.
No, yeah, I'm still having a hard time seeing it. Like
me too. I have a hard time seeing it against a legitimately very good technical fighter.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he does get a performance of the night bonus, so good on him. Good on him.
But like if Michelle Pereira is like handling business on him. Well, I guess Pereira fights at 85 now, but
yeah, he's up at 85 now. Like I have Khaos Williams at 29. I have him. We'll get to, because guess what? He has a loss to Randy Brown, and I have Randy Brown at 28. And like I don't think
is Brian Battle at welterweight or is he up middleweight?
No, he's at welterweight. That'd be a good fight.
I like Brian Battle. That's the prototype kind of guy I think would like give Khaos Williams a very bad time.
Yeah, because he'll match his athleticism and like dog, but also is more technical. Right. You know what I mean?
And he can probably wrestle a little better than Carlston Harris and is a little bigger than Carlston Harris.
Former middleweight. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing, or like I can make like like a Nicholas Dalby might be kind of like trouble. Like if Dalby can handle Bonfim, he could probably handle Khaos Williams. Right?
Dalby's extremely interesting because he has a very good head striking defense. He has terrible leg kick defense, but his cardio is insane and his pace is insane, and those are things that Khaos Williams struggles with.
For sure, man. Yeah, I have a hard time jumping him over. Like I said, I can't jump him over Randy Brown. He recently lost to him. I have a hard time imagining him beating Dalby. Euros Medic might be fun. They're kind of similar guys, like win by KO, like type of guys. Euros Medic matchup, and then Khaos could use his power because Medic's former lightweight as opposed to Battle the former middleweight. You know what I'm saying?
You know what? I will say Khaos does not get finished. He does only lose by decision. 3 losses, all 3 decisions. And Michelle Pereira is one of them. That's funny.
Well, that's why I think Dalby's the nightmare matchup. Dalby by decision. I would hammer that method of victory. Yeah. I would hammer Dalby by decision.
And in fact, UFC, go ahead and book that because we need it. Like we need it. We need it after we got fucking robbed this week, which we'll get to in our prelims breakdown.
Yeah, man. But I mean, I guess big win for Khaos. It's just I don't know. Like I had Carlston Harris. Like I was kind of high on Carlston Harris. I'm no longer am. Sorry about it. But like I don't think the average UFC fan was. So like yeah, you said Felder like, oh, this was a big win for Khaos Williams' career. Like I don't know if it was.
I got a lot of pushback for a lot of the like. They were hyping the fuck out of guys last night. Felder and Cruz like to suck people off.
Well, I guess in Felder's defense, this fight was the co-main. Now, I wouldn't have made it the co-main. I would have rather had Angela Hill in the co-main personally.
I agree. Like, the 9 versus 12 matchup. Yeah.
Yeah. So like The fact that it was the co-main, I'm kind of disagreeing with the UFC and disagreeing with Felder. Like, I wouldn't have had that card, but I get the point. You get a performance-winning knockout in your first ever co-main event. Like, I see how you arrived at the conclusion.
It sold well.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think either of us think Khaos is that guy. He's gonna have to keep proving me wrong, just like Joaquin Buckley did.
Yeah, I see him the exact same way. That's so funny you'd say that. Like I look at him the exact same way. I'm like, I like their ability to win. I hate their ability to lose, if that makes sense.
Well, and just like maybe like a high floor, low ceiling type of deal. Like
That's what I mean.
Khaos
That's what I
is
mean.
Gonna, like,
That's a better way to say what I said. Yes.
Like Khaos would starch any Can or Kuzi or older guy, or like, sure, but is he gonna be? Hell, a Buckley, a Wonder Boy, a Gilbert Burns, even maybe even like a Jeff Neal. Like I think he's gonna struggle with that caliber of guy. Like Jeff Neal is just a better Khaos Williams, right? Like
yeah, like Kevin Holland would give Khaos Williams a shit ton of trouble. Like there's a lot of guys. Brian Battle, I think. Like I think there's a good number of welterweights that Uros Medic. I think there's a good number of welterweights that give Khaos Williams a hard ass time.
Man. So call us hated if you want to, but we are not sold quite yet. But man, we have more welterweights up next on the lower end of the scale. I do not know how this fight was on the main card. I really don't.
This fight was one of the most boring fights I've watched in a long time.
It really was. And if you want to narrow it down to like most boring men's fight,
I mean, Lewis and Ngannou is all time bad. What was the fight we had 2 weeks ago? Oh, fucking Robelis and Cortez Acosta was pretty bad.
Oh, I'll take that over this because at least Cortez Acosta was like getting actual takedowns, and then Despain was landing a couple shots at the start of the round. This was like neither of those. Like I think this was much worse.
I will say, Dom Cruz called this right. He was like, "Yeah, this is just cheese graters." And Paul Felder was like, "What?" And he goes, "They're just grating each other on the fence back and forth. That's all this is until one of them gets a takedown."
Like there was literally no damage really in the fight. Like I mean, like none of my notes have any word about damage or strikes or knockdowns or cuts or wobbles. Like it's just like reversals and clinch control and a takedown here. And like, I mean, I gave it 30-27 Themba. All judges did.
I did.
I mean, he won the rounds, but like it was like a Greco-Roman match. It wasn't even, or like a judo match. It wasn't even.
Let me put it this way, Brahimaj. Here's why Brahimaj can't win a round. Like I can't defend him winning any rounds. Is this? He landed 3 significant strikes in the fight, and he threw 6 significant strikes in the fight. Worse than that, he threw 14 grounded strikes. In 3 rounds? Yeah, in 3 rounds. And he threw 14 grounded strikes and landed 12.
Yeah, that's hot dog shit. Hot dog shit.
I mean, that's impressively bad. You can't win a fight landing 15 total strikes and 3 of them being significant.
Well, it's kind of crazy, too, because in Themba Grimbo's last outing, he got a first-round KO. Usually that, like, emboldens guys, right? And then, Brahim, my super rusty coming off a 2-year layoff, wasn't throwing offense, as you just alluded to. So it's not like Themba had to worry about what was coming back his way.
Right.
Like, after, I really don't understand why it had to be that snoozy. I really don't. But, I mean, he gets the win. We had him, I think, on 1 parlay each. That leg cash, but parlays overall did not, so fuck it, who cares? I moved Themba up to 53, which is like, honestly, I thought it was going to be even lower than that, but like, let's see. I have him above Billy Goff, below Danny Barlow. So, I mean,
God, Danny Barlow's those seem like tough fights for old Garimbo, if I'm being honest. Like, he's
we just saw Goff fight, and he's like uber untechnical. So I can see Garimbo just snoozing it up, just like we saw. And
is
then
he the Kuzi? Is Garimbo the actual Kuzi? Who's our Kuzi in there?
In the Kuzi tier, we have was like the actual at 40. Phil Rowe at 40 as the actual like cutoff, which I think Phil Rowe beats Themba Garimbo. So yeah. I think that's like. I think it's fair to say they're like a tier apart. Yeah, I mean, as far as what's next, I mean, Garimbo, maybe Simmelsberger, just so it can't be boring. Like it's gonna force him to actually fight. Just for the sake of us to have to watch it, like a Simmelsberger, like just like for the sake of like something's gonna at least happen.
You know what?
Or Billy Goff. Billy Goff will at least fight him.
You know what? I think you give him a nightmare matchup. I think you give him Khaos Williams. Here's why. I think people on Twitter were out. We're fucking out on Garimbo, okay? I saw people tweeting about DJ needs to go take that house back, all right? A lot of hate, no love, all right? So we're feeding him. We're feeding. It's over.
Yeah, I guess my only thing would be like...
He's a can. Well, he's a koozie, but like, you get what I'm saying.
I'm just saying, like that would almost be disrespectful for Khaos. Like that would, I think Khaos deserves better. Like I think that would be like a disservice to Khaos.
I agree, but look where they booked him. One fight apart, main card.
Yeah, god damn it, that's dog shit.
That's the problem, is how the UFC is selling it to us, not where we have them.
Well, all right, have our cake and eat it too. Still feed him Carlos Prates.
Yeah, we need Prates back on track.
Yeah, Carlos Prates.
I'm here for it. I'm very here for it.
All right. Or even Mike Malott. Like, let's get Mike Malott a get-right fight.
Yeah? I don't like Mike Malott as much. I like Prates. Prates come out swinging. That boy a dog.
Yeah, Prates would bang for sure, brother. Man, let's keep it pushing here to a fight that was not snoozy, but a fight that was dog shit matchmaking. Adrian Yanez, minus 425.
Thanks for that. Thanks for that.
Taking on Vinicius Salvador. Completely duff-beat in flyweight that for some reason drew into Adrian Yanez. I don't fucking get really the matchmaking there. Plus 330. Could have been plus 500 for all I care. Had this on the parlay. This was the final leg of a parlay, a four-legger that was plus 431. That shoulda, woulda, coulda. I get it. Crying my beer. But should have cashed. This was the final leg of it. And, hell, we got Yanez at minus 380, so we got good value on it, too.
Yeah, we got that early.
I mean, the cool thing was Yanez was clearly knockout hunting, and we very rarely see that actually worked. Just Vinicius Salvador is so bad that Yanez was spamming the same counter over and over and over again, literally like a video game. And he just ate it anyway. Just like still made zero reads, made zero adjustments. Just like, oh, you caught me with the same counter that I've seen 20 times in the first 3 minutes of this fight? Like, bet. I'm a can, so I'm going to eat it anyway.
And then Tognoni made him suffer on the ground like that. I thought that stoppage was boring on late.
Yeah. I mean, boring on late is one way to put it. I mean, yeah. It just like it was so much unanswered ground and pound. That's literally my note. Much unanswered ground and pound.
That's my favorite part about Cruz in this fight, though, is that right before Salvador gets dropped, he's going, "Yeah, Yanez is just setting up this counter. He's just headhunting. He can't really keep doing." Boom! Dude gets absolutely floored with one in Brendan was it Fitzgerald? Is that who was on the mic with him?
Yeah.
I think he just jumps in and is like, "Oh!" He gets dry and like cuts him off completely. And it was like, "Oh, crazy shit!" And then as he's getting like the most unanswered ground and pound, he's like, "See that's a good way to let a fighter go out on his shield. Give the man a chance." I was like, "No way! This guy is doubling down on hot takes."
He said he gave him every opportunity. Yeah, that's one way to put it.
Like, bro looked hurt. Like, he didn't get up immediately. He stayed down for a long time. Like, that's fucked up.
This fight was over at 247. It could have been called at like 210.
Yeah.
Seriously.
It was fucked up.
But I guess I got my own kind of hot take, and it's gonna kind of sound like Yanez hate. But
are you mad that we gave out the prop for him by KO and didn't bet it?
No. I mean, that did sting on a night where we ate shit at the books. But my overall point was that, like, everybody on Twitter, all up and down my feed was just saying, "Oh, Yanez is back," or that's a get right. But like it doesn't equate. Like, just because, like, two things can be true. Yeah, that was an amazing KO. Also, does not mean you're back. Like, he was losing fights to, like, knocking out Vinicius Salvador in round one does not mean you can go with like a Figueiredo or a Cheeto Vera or a even like a
Bro,
Chris
Michael Morales is
Gutierrez,
whooping his ass. Chris Gutierrez is whooping his ass.
Marcus McGee, maybe
Mario
even
Batista's whooping his ass.
like that's what I'm saying. Like
Peyton
beating
Talbot's
Vinicius.
whooping his ass.
Dude, I literally have Peyton Talbot, Daniel Marcos undefeated.
Yeah.
You got
Yeah.
Renya Nakamura
Renya's whooping his
undefeated.
ass, especially stylistically. That is a horrible fight for Yanez.
Fucking Bezcott, Almacon hanging around somewhere in
I
the
like
Caucasus
Almacon.
Mountains.
Yeah, he's
Like-
lurking. He's lurking on the goat.
But that's what, so like this take that was just all up and down my Twitter feed. I was almost like disappointed in MMA Twitter because it's like, oh, just when you want to think that people know what the fuck they're looking at, everybody's like, oh, Yanez is back. He's a factor in the division again. What? Why? Vinicius Salvador? Like,
literally a flyweight can coming up 10 pounds, still a can. Imagine.
like what? Like, will we be saying that if he beat like Jesus Aguilar? Like,
Bro, like
what?
the way he fought him was disrespectful too. Like he just literally wasn't even worried about getting he was making Salvador like, all right, just throw nukes at me, buddy. Like I'm gonna dodge him and just counter the fuck out of you. Like just throw your nukes. I don't care. Like it was disrespectful, and that's because this fight should not have been booked. It made no sense. Vegas fucked their odds. This should have been like a minus 900.
Yeah. I mean, we had Tom Nolan was a bigger favorite than Yanez. Would fucking make that make sense? Like,
Made no sense. Nolan
That's
almost
why, like-
fumbled the bag, and we called that.
it's like on the betting show, you're like, I don't know if I can put Yanez on the parlay at this value. I was like, no, that's a parlay lock right there.
You sold me on it, and I absolutely threw him on 2 parlays and damn near took him on the prop.
No, man, but I mean, it's like 2 things can be true. Yanez looked great, and also does not mean he's like ready for the top end of the division again. Like it just like both things can be true.
Bro, for me, that performance, he's getting his ass whooped by Peyton Talbot. He cannot be reckless like that. He's going to get lit up by a good bantamweight.
Yeah. I mean, exactly. I mean, yeah, not even in the top 25. They said Peyton Talbot, Daniel Marcos, Marcus McGee, Renya Nakamura. Hell, even Chris Gutierrez.
I know. Gutierrez
he's
gives him
kind
a
of a
hard
head
run.
cake, but yeah, bro. Yeah. So I mean, I like Yanez. Like I don't want to kind of be the skunk at the garden party, as old Uncle Che would say. But I don't know, man. I didn't take a whole lot away from that. Neither did Dana. No bonus. He was like, yeah, you should do that. Like you getting that matchmaking is your performance bonus.
Yeah, his win
welcome.
bonus, like he's going to get a win bonus, and it's like, hey, your bonus is, you see how I just gave you this free win? That's
Free
the
win.
bonus.
Yeah, I agree, bro. Yeah, I did not see it the same way as MMA Twitter did. Man, wait, let's keep it pushing to what should have been the co-main. I'm glad you agreed with that take.
Yeah, 9 versus 12, especially Angie Hill, who's literally headlined a fight night before. Fucking Pinheiro's autograph is on this one when she was on the undercard, so she's worked her way up for years and years now. Like, that's a 3.5-year-old poster.
Yeah, Pinheiro's last fight was against Hebus too, so it's not like she's like it's her first big fight. Like, yeah, no, I completely disagree with this card placement. And man, we were all over Pinheiro by decision here. I gotta say, this is maybe the best Angela Hill's ever looked. At 39 is crazy.
I know.
Like,
you know what's crazy?
So good.
I didn't think Pinheiro looked terrible. I just thought Angie Hill looked really good.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, Angie Hill, was outpacing her on the feet. Classic Angela Hill. She's known for a high volume, high output kind of style. So classic Angie Hill on the feet. But then, ends up getting in top control, gets a takedown at the end of the round. Round 2 gets a sub. We saw, grappling Ange. Ange came out, she brought a gi.
Yeah, and honestly, you know what this looked like? A lot of vet savvy, because she noted in the first round Pinheiro kept shooting that sloppy shot. And so in the second round, the first time she shot that sloppy low single, or sloppy high single, I'm sorry, she immediately went for the guillotine. And Pinheiro escaped the first time. Immediately shoots another sloppy shot the same way and gets caught. Like, Angie Hill had, figured it out. Like, when she shoots this sloppy bullshit, I'm immediately going to throw this ghillie. I'm Dustin Poirier with it right now.
Yeah, and it worked, man. And then she got it over to a mounted ghillie, gets the finish, second round. This was a big win for Angie Hill. 12 over 9. In the post fight that she had never been in the top 10 before. So that I think that probably gets her there. I mean, you would think so. Now, as far as power rankings go, I have Angela Hill at 14. But I think in the real ranking, she ought to crack the top 10. And like as an Angie Hill fan, just of the person that she is, like I'm happy for her.
Yeah, me too. Now I also wonder though for like, dude, she's 39. Like realistically, this shit's gonna catch up with her at some point, whether it be 1 year, whether it be two. Like she doesn't have
Yeah.
a lot of time, so I just hate it for her because like unless she makes a legit run right now, like the next fight she loses, that's it. As far as
Yeah,
like a
but
title contention.
yeah, I mean her approach is different. I don't think necessarily like I don't think like being a champion. She strikes me as like in a way kind of like a Kevin Holland. Like she takes a lot of fights. She's active. She wins some. She loses some. You know, she makes her money out of the octagon as well. Like she has, you know, she's building like her brand, her presence. Like,
What about like Yanni Roba and Hill?
yeah, if they haven't fought, I mean, they've both been in the UFC for 87 years. So I'd be sure. I mean, that's what's going to be hard about Angie Hill. I feel like she probably fought everybody,
Let's
but
see.
I don't have.
Yeah, she has a unanimous decision loss to Virna 2 years ago. Yeah, she's fought fucking everyone, man. She's fought Mackenzie Dern, she's fought Loopy, she's fought Virna, she's
She's
fought
fought Tisha
Lemos.
Pennington, even I think,
Yep,
right? Yeah, she has
yep.
that Elton Tisha Pennington.
She's fought Michelle Waterson Gomez.
She's even fought all the young girls though. She's fought Pinheiro. She's fought Denise Gomes. I'm pretty sure.
Yep, she
So like,
has.
she's literally fought like two generations of strawweights. Like, I don't even know how you matchmake her.
What about Ricci or Hebos?
Ricci would make a lot of sense, right? I think.
Yeah, has not fought Ricci and has not fought Hebos. God damn, her career's so long. She's fought Tisha Pennington twice. Once in 2015 and then again in 2021.
The size of Hebus might be an issue for Angie Hill, but I think she matches up good with Ricci. Ricci's been having some sloppy striking, some bad output, and guess what Angie brings to the table? Chris striking and a lot of output. I probably would bet Angela Hill in that one if I'm being honest. Maybe.
Man,
Especially,
you know what? She lost to Dern after getting the Godinez and Dakota win, and that was when they were trying to give her like a push, and she lost. Then they got her back right with Denise Gomes. Then they gave her a tough matchup here in Luana Pinheiro. I don't think they were trying to give her a good step here. Granted, she was the favorite,
no.
but yeah, she gets this win in an impressive fashion. Looks very good. I think it's reasonable to say that she could call for I mean, Ricci's 11, so she would. I mean, if they're gonna make her fight back and earn it, that'll make sense. But if she slides all the way up to 9, and she wants to fight Amanda Hebos at 8, I don't have a problem with it.
No, I don't have a problem with that at all. I would have a problem with it being an Apex main event, which it probably would. But hey, what can you do? But also, Angela Hill performance of the night bonus, so I'm happy for her. Also, set a record, most wins in the UFC strawweight history. Like that's impressive.
Yeah.
Now she also might have the record for most losses in strawweight history as well. Like just overall, kind of a volume
I
stat,
think she
right?
has 12 losses in the UFC.
So slightly above 500 record, but I don't know, man. She looked good. She looked better than ever. She really did. No, you're right. Like the wheels are going to fall off at some point. Just ask Edson Barboza.
I think we're really close to it. I think we're really close to it, like dangerously close. Like, I think we get one more stellar performance, and then it's a big degradation.
Yeah, maybe. But yeah, man. I mean, great win for Angie Hill. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it, and that wraps up the main card segment. You can check us out on Instagram, Beefy Boys Breakdown, and on X at Beefy Breakdown. And go ahead and like and subscribe, and we'll put out a betting video every week as well as our recap. So check out our channel.
Except for next week, because the UFC is off. But we will give you a betting breakdown for Islam and Poirier coming up June 1st. Big UFC 302. Get your mind right, people. That's the next betting video coming at you. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and check out this prelim breakdown we're about to throw at you.